Today, we are deconstructing the proposed 2025 CEO Performance Award for Tesla. We're basing this analysis entirely on the company's own proxy statement filing, going straight to the source to understand what's on the table.
This entire explainer really centers on a number so large it's hard to fully grasp. We're talking about a compensation proposal with an ultimate market capitalization target of $8.5 trillion. To put that into perspective, that's more than double the valuation of any company on the planet today.
And for hitting those targets, the potential reward is equally staggering. The proposal carries a preliminary fair value, which is the estimated accounting cost to the company, of as much as $87.75 billion. It's one of the largest potential pay packages in corporate history. So to make sense of this, we're going to break it down into 5 distinct parts. First, we'll look at the core proposal itself. Then, we'll explore why it even exists. After that, the anatomy of the award, the specific mechanics. Fourth, the board's official rationale. And finally, the financial impact for the company and its shareholders.
All right, let's start with the basics. What is the fundamental structure of this new performance award that shareholders are being asked to vote on?
Okay, looking at the high-level architecture, this is not a simple stock grant. We are talking about an award that represents about 12% of the company's outstanding shares. It's structured into 12 separate pieces, or tranches, that can only be unlocked over a 10-year period by meeting very specific, very difficult performance goals. And a key kicker here, even after the shares are earned, they have to be held for an additional 5 years.
Now, to really understand this proposal, you have to know its history. This didn't just appear out of thin air. It's actually a direct response to a major legal development.
So here's the quick backstory. A similar, though smaller, award was approved by shareholders back in 2018. But earlier this year, a Delaware court voided that award. The company then asked shareholders to ratify the original 2018 award, which they did. But to resolve all the legal uncertainty, the board has now put forward this entirely new 2025 proposal.
From the company's perspective, as they state in the proxy, there are 2 key points here. First, they're actively appealing the court's decision, believing it was based on errors. And second, they make the case that their CEO has effectively received no compensation since 2018. So this new award is designed to both resolve that situation and, more importantly, incentivize him for the future.
Okay, now for the mechanics. This is where it gets really fascinating. Let's break down exactly what has to happen for these shares to actually be earned.
The sheer leap in ambition here is just immense. The 2018 plan, which was seen as a moonshot at the time, maxed out at a $650 billion market cap. This new plan doesn't even begin until the company hits $2 trillion, and it ends at that mind-boggling $8.5 trillion figure.
You can think of it like a ladder. The first rung is set at a $2 trillion market cap. From there, 9 tranches unlock for every additional $500 billion in value created. But those final 2 steps are massive, requiring a full $1 trillion leap each. And critically, this isn't about a one-day stock price spike. The valuation must be sustained over both 30-day and 6-month trailing averages.
But it's not just about the stock market. The proxy is very clear that vesting is also tied to achieving 4 incredibly ambitious real-world product goals. We're talking about scaling vehicle deliveries to 20 million, reaching 10 million active subscriptions for autonomous driving software, delivering 1 million humanoid robots, and launching a commercial robotaxi network with 1 million vehicles. And tying all of this together are 8 operational milestones based on profitability, specifically cumulative adjusted EBITDA. To unlock every tranche, the company has to generate just staggering amounts of profit. Just look at those final 3 milestones. Each one requires $400 billion in adjusted EBITDA over a 4 consecutive quarter period. Now, there's a crucial detail in how that profitability is measured. The metric being used, adjusted EBITDA, is specifically defined to exclude stock-based compensation. So what does that mean? It means the massive accounting cost of the award itself won't act as a barrier to hitting the very operational milestones needed to earn it. It's a very important distinction.
So the goals are clearly immense. How did the board arrive at this plan, and how do they justify it to shareholders? The proxy statement details a very formal governance process they undertook to answer exactly those questions. The document lays out a very deliberate, multi-step process. The board formed a special committee of directors who were deemed to be independent. That committee then hired its own outside experts, spent a full 7 months evaluating options, and Importantly, negotiated the terms directly with the CEO before making its final recommendation.
And they didn't do this in a vacuum. The committee retained a whole suite of external, independent advisors. We're talking special legal counsel, multiple compensation consultants, valuation experts, and accounting advisors, all to provide third-party expertise and ensure the process was robust.
So what was their ultimate conclusion? Well, this quote from the special committee's report really gets to the heart of their justification. They argue that the CEO is indispensable for achieving the company's ambitions beyond just cars, specifically in the high-growth areas of AI and robotics, which they see as key to future valuation.
Finally, let's turn to the numbers and the risks. The proxy statement is also very clear about the potential financial impact this award could have on the company's books.
So this is the crucial point for investors. The award comes with a huge accounting cost. Even though it's a non-cash charge, the company explicitly warns that it could have a material negative impact on its reported financial results. That means it could potentially affect net income before any of the performance milestones are even hit.
Here's how they get to that preliminary fair value of up to $87.75 billion. It's calculated using a complex financial model, a Monte Carlo simulation, which relies on key assumptions like interest rates and, crucially, expected stock volatility. If those assumptions change, the final accounting cost could end up being different.
And one final key term designed to align interests is the mandatory holding period. Any shares that are eventually earned cannot be sold for 5 years. This is designed to ensure that even after hitting a major milestone, the executive's interests remain tied to the company's long-term performance, not just a short-term stock price movement.
And all of this brings us back to the central question. The company presents this award as an essential tool to drive unprecedented growth. But for the wider corporate world, what kind of precedent does a compensation structure of this magnitude set for how we think about CEO incentives, shareholder value, and the very nature of corporate governance?